Hi. So I'm not in my studio at the moment. I'm in a completely different place with gear I usually don't really use. And for some reason, this always messes with my head. And it's not even that I don't have any gear with me or anything like that. I still have an interface, my guitar amp, and I have a MIDI keyboard with me. But if you're a producer as well, you probably know the feeling. You are not in your creative safe space and everything feels just a lot harder. So today I want to find out something. I want to create a full instrumental from here, and honestly I'm not even sure if it will be any good. Let's start out with a guitar riff. Well, this turned out to be way harder than I thought. The environment around me wasn't really inspiring at all, being in the attic with the yellow walls, and it took me 2 or 3 tries until I got something usable. I don't really feel like anything is working right now. In the meantime, it got even dark outside. But then it started to click. And this is how it sounded once I was able to piece a first riff together. This was still quite static sounding and clipping, but a starting riff like this can lead to something. So I added some drums and a bass part. For the drums, I used the Get Good Drums Invasion plugin, and for the bass, the Gin Bass by Submission Audio. So together with bass and guitar and drums, it sounds like this at the moment. The next thing we are going to do is doing one synth layer. For the synth layer, I programmed Serum, shaping the initial sound going from this to this to this. Up until now, it was sounding like a metalcore record, but it was time to change this and introduce the rap part. Let's try and do some trap drums. I will load snare, some kick and stuff like that. I slowly got into a groove, but I still kept running into technical problems, which prevented me from getting into a real flow state. I think the MIDI keyboard I'm using is double triggering. This is not my usual setup, so yeah. Despite all of this, I continued and started arranging a little bit. So it got quite dark in the meantime. Time flew by and it's getting dark really early. But let's continue, and we have an intro. The next thing to do was recording guitar for the verses. To match the glitchy metalcore vibe in the main riff, I chopped this up and re-recorded a couple of takes, doubling and panning hard left and right for a bigger sound. To tie things together, I kept these synths from the main riff and pitched them down 1 octave. After adding 808, bass and synth, the verse sounded like this before mixing. To contrast the glitchy vibes in the other 2 parts, I added a bridge to the instrumental. Played wide and straight power chords, not chopped, not altered in any other way. Okay, let's do something like this in the bridge. Adding some transition effects and a little bit of mixing, and we were finally done with the instrumental. It's kind of crazy how much the room you're in changes how you think and how you decide. But I think that's also the good part. Once you break through that resistance and technical difficulties, everything starts flowing again. This experience definitely reminded me that it's not really about having the perfect setup. It's about showing up long enough until your brain finally cooperates. Alright, I think we are done with the overall instrumental, so let's listen to it and Let me know what you think.